Today we're discussing why many men are disconnected from the primal. Now, I want us to get on the same page about what I mean when I speak to the primal, like their primal nature. Our primal nature is our connection to our wild. It's our connection to our animal, like our animalistic self. Yeah, like our desires, expressing our desires, acting on our desires, saying what we want, saying all the dirty things that are in our minds during sexual encounter. That is connection to your primal. Connection to your primal is also connection to your sensual self. Because we are sensual beings, we are sexual beings, we were born that way. So being connected to that aspect of you, allowing yourself to move in whatever way your body wants to move. Allowing yourself to go inwards and feel into your body, feel into your sensations, feel into your pleasure, right? That is being connected to your primal. It's also being connected to nature, Pachamama. And it is your ability to connect to the world around you, to the environment around you. You know, you see so many people in today's world and they're disconnected from the earth. Yeah, or maybe you're at an ecstatic dance outside and you can go barefoot, but you see many people in tennis shoes, right? And actually rubber, it creates a barrier. So we're not actually getting the antioxidants from the earth. And so when you actually ground in the earth, you pick up antioxidants from the earth. Now, many of us are disconnected from nature itself, right? People poison this earth, they pollute the earth, right? We're not honoring Pachamama, like the bountiful fruits that nature gives us, the vegetables nature gives us, the beautiful lands, vast lands that we can walk on, explore on, build our homes on. And so when you're connected to the primal, you're also connected to the earth. So you also do rituals to honor the earth, to honor your life, to honor the body that you're in. Right? And that ties back to your sensuality, like I said before, right? It's connecting to your sensuality and it's allowing yourself to do things that are connected to that, yeah? Because when you do rituals, it's also an expression of your sensuality, of your primal nature. Because you are honoring yourself as you're also honoring the world. As you make prayers, as you call in what you want to manifest more of. Yeah, even like the earth, you think of like the fire starters, the fire keepers. Yeah, they're connected to that primal nature. They know how to work with the elements. They know how to work with the elements for their benefit, right? Or in harmony. What else? Many men are disconnected, and women. But there's something that I noticed particularly that's been coming up in my conversations with men around them not being connected to their wild, their primal nature. Now, often this happens because in our society, you usually have men in two opposing buckets. You either have men who are hyper masculine, who fall into like the unhealthy, wounded masculine energy from our conditioning of our society, that are maybe overly aggressive, overly dominant, to a point where they ask for things or do things that violate others' boundaries. Or that kind of energy where you think of porn, right? Conditioning from porn, that like taking energy. Yeah, I'm going to take from you against your will, and that's how I'm going to prove my dominance. You're going to find that attractive because I'm bigger and stronger than you. Yeah, and that's conditioning. Many women also have rape fantasies. I spoke to this in my last podcast episode, 41 of Divine Union, the difference between ravishing and taking. And I also have that on my channel here. And listen to that if you want to understand more about the difference between ravishing and taking. But yeah, like it's that wounded masculine energy of I'm just going to take. Like I'm better, I'm bigger, better, faster, stronger. And it's like proving that through competition. Now, people confuse that with the primal. So many disconnect from their primal, many men, because they go the complete opposite way. So maybe they witness a father figure or a masculine figure in their life who was like toxic masculine, unhealthy masculine through dominating. Yeah, and they see the damage that that causes. And so then they go the complete opposite way of being much more in the feminine to create this sort of container for the feminine that maybe feels safer. But what they're doing is they're repressing those aspects of self that are wild, that also take pleasure in dominating, that take pleasure in penetrating, that take pleasure in having another surrender or submit to their will. Now, I also know this to be true because this was my own experience with my own masculine, yeah? Many women also repress this aspect of self. So I speak for both. Now, the thing is, we all have these aspects within us. Now, we may repress them from childhood, from early experiences that we witness where maybe we become so disgusted with the people that embody those qualities that we completely reject it or hide it down or shy away from it. And that's when we lose it. It becomes like a lost part of ourselves or a rejected part of ourselves. Now, the difference is in what you do with it. Because you can take that dominating energy, yeah? Like, ooh, it feels good to dominate. It feels good to penetrate another with my energy, with my voice, with my presence, with my body, yeah? But what is the intention? If you want to take that, you can take that and you can penetrate them with love, the depth of your love, the depth of your desire, the depth of your hunger for them. Or in the unhealthy manifestation, it becomes this sort of dominating energy through ownership. Through ownership where one is a lesser being than you are, where there's a hierarchy. And that's conditioning. That creates that sort of dynamic where we find that sexy or we think that's how we're supposed to be. And so that's why many disconnect from it, because they don't want to embody that. They want to be the nice guy, the spiritual guy, the good guy, you know, the guy who honors and respects women, but so much so that they actually neglect that aspect of self, which is an important aspect of self, especially when it comes to your sexuality and your sensuality. And so how do you express the primal? Like if you want to reconnect to the primal, how do you express the primal in a healthy way? So some things that you can first do to reconnect to it would be doing things in nature, in like stillness and silence. So maybe it's going for a walk and it's feeling the ground beneath your feet, right? Like really feeling your connection to the earth after each step by step as you're walking in nature. That is a quick way to like really start to reconnect to your primal, to nature. Another way that you can reconnect to your primal is through the breath, through breath work. Now you can do what's called the connected breath, which is in the mouth, out the mouth, in the mouth, out the mouth, without taking a pause in between. And when you do that, what it starts to do is it starts to activate the energy in the body. And sometimes you even might feel it's called like tetany, where your hands kind of become like T-Rex claws, if you will, and you like can't even move them. And that's just like energy moving through the body. So you don't have to be afraid by that. And so when you do the connected breath and you really start to breathe and you start to get the energy moving, yeah, then it's like feeling into the sensations of the body, right? Coming back into your body, into your sensuality brings you back into your primal, into your animal, yeah? Feeling into yourself. What am I feeling? Am I feeling bubbles? Am I feeling tingles? Am I feeling pleasure? Where am I feeling pleasure? Am I feeling it in my lingam? Am I feeling my lingam? Can I bring my attention to my lingam and try to feel my lingam? Am I feeling my yoni? Yeah, if you're a woman. Right? And so feeling the sensations. And then also, when we do the breath, yeah, we also want to let ourselves make sound. Because when we sound, that actually opens up chakras in the body. It opens up channels in the body, and different sounds carry different frequencies that open up different chakras. And so connecting to your primal, a really easy way is like, let yourself sound. Right? Like making different sounds, feeling your breath with different sounds, feeling how you sound in different tones, in different frequencies, connecting to that form of expression through the voice, through the breath, without needing to always say words. Because sometimes words disconnect us from the primal. You want to have like wild, deep intimacy and passion. You can't always be using words. You're not going to have it. My sexiest times have been with silence, with hearing the moans of another, the grunts of another. Yeah, like the noise of our bodies slapping against each other. Feeling someone in their body breathing. Breathing next to you. Or feeling your bellies touching. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Right? And when you're in the body, when you're connected to the breath and you're in the body, what it does is it brings you out of the head through that process. And that's when you start to get real, right? In the bedroom. That's like, okay, maybe all of a sudden something comes over you and you feel like a cat, and maybe you want to like nuzzle their neck with your head. Right? Like when you're not thinking, when you are doing, you're connected to your primal. And like I said earlier, it is a line in knowing when does it become that like taking energy where I'm like dominating versus I'm like ravishing you with love. We are sharing in this experience of love, of sensuality, of pleasure, of wild play. It's a difference, but it's a difference on the energetic level. So you can feel it if you are one of the parties in the lovemaking. Both parties can feel it if you're conscious about it. And sometimes the primal takes over. So many men also disconnect from their primal because when they are fear their power. At a subconscious level, many of them fear the destructive power that comes with that, right? That comes with maybe you witnessed a father figure or another masculine figure, right? Like destroy the family dynamic or leave your mother, right? So a lot of people fear the damaging effects that can come with the primal, or fear of loss of control that can come with the primal. And what it is it's a balance, right? Because you don't want to go too far on that end, right? Where you're completely disconnected because you're just controlling, holding it in, controlling how you're showing up, managing your emotions, managing your boner, right? All of the things, trying to be perfect, right? You want to like be able to feel a little too. We have a lot of work to do as our society because we often shame men. You know, you give someone a hug and maybe they get a little hard, yeah? And many men are afraid of that moment. So they fear a lot of fear, a lot of shame even they experience if they get hard. Maybe from the person that's hugging them that isn't conscious. Or maybe there's lack of communication around it. And so to do that, you want to let yourself be. Yeah, you want to let your body be. This is a body you're in. Yeah, and unfortunately and fortunately, right? For men, like when you're hard, it's more obvious than like a woman who's turned on and her reaction with the body. And so it is destigmatizing that. We have to do that as a society, a lot more work to be done there. But it's letting yourself feel these aspects of yourself, your pleasure, your turn on. And of course, then how you navigate it makes a big difference in if you're using it destructively or in a healthy way. And so when it's destructive, to tell the difference is like, it's learning how to balance the push and pull. This is why understanding polarity is really important. And I highly recommend check out my episode on polarity if you're curious to learn more. It's on my podcast. And yeah, it's understanding that push and pull, because it's like, how do you act on it, but then hold back? Act and then hold back. Yeah, like give just enough, pull back. Because it's not fun when you go ham, super primal for like a long time, especially in the bedroom. Like you need to be able to pull back, move slow, because if you actually want to be in the body and feel pleasure, you have to be in the body. You got to be moving slow. Justin Patrick Pierce does a really good job of speaking to, he has this bit where he speaks to like, as a man, be like gravity. Yeah, like name your desires and then be like gravity. Let your woman get so hungry that she comes in towards you. So he gives the example of like, let me see your tongue. Yeah. Or maybe you could say something like, dance for me. Yeah. I want to see how much you desire me, how much you love me. Right? It's expressing your desires with your words. Now, you don't always have to do it with words, but you want to make sure that it's consensual, and you want to get your woman to lean in towards you. So it's letting yourself name the things you want, right? Or baby, I love to see when you shake that ass, like stand up and do a dance for me, right? And as a woman, you can also say that stuff to your partner. Yeah, whatever you want to see. It's naming it. And that's connected to your primal, right? When you are letting yourself name all the dirty, wild, crazy things that are on your mind. And it's being sensitive to context, always. It's being sensitive, who am I with, right? I'm not going to just name it to a stranger, make them uncomfortable. I have to be mindful of who I'm speaking to and of boundaries, all of the important things. But it's letting yourself feel. So I went on a little bit of a tangent there. As always, love when that happens. But yeah, so to recap, to connect to your primal, yeah, you go walk in nature, do something in nature, or do a ceremony in nature where you're honoring nature, where you're connecting to yourself, you're making prayers. Also through the breath, getting the energy moving, feeling in the body, feeling your sensations. Also through the voice, hearing your breath, hearing your sound, hearing your grunts, hearing your moans, playing with your voice, feeling what feels good for your body, what feels good for your soul. And through movement, yeah, through moving the body, letting yourself move sensually, letting yourself explore your sensuality and explore your pleasure through that, because our bodies feel pleasure when we move our bodies, and especially when we move it slowly, right? And we're really in the bodies, we can really, really feel the body, feel the sensations. That's going to bring you back to your pleasure. We need the primal, baby. We need more men connecting to their healthy masculine, to their healthy primal, asserting their desires, asserting their kinks. We also need more women doing the same, because this is how we're going to have wild passion, beautiful, deep, connected intimacy and love and play. And so just to recap, right, it's knowing the difference. It's knowing the difference when it comes from like taking, when it comes from a hierarchy energy or dominating energy, not with the intention of I want to bring you also pleasure and you love and deepen in love, but it comes from ownership instead. Which sometimes ownership can be a form of play, right? I don't want to demonize, but it's being mindful of patterns and habits, right? It's good for everyone to have some range, right? And it's also being mindful of, okay, many people don't express the primal because of fear of the destructive nature of it. So also digging into your dynamics, your childhood, your conditioning, and how that might impact how you perceive your primal, how you perceive your wild, your freedom. Are you afraid that it's going to destroy the relationship by you expressing that? Or by you expressing, maybe you're in a closed relationship, by you expressing your desire for another being. Yeah, and that doesn't mean you have to act on it, but it's being honest that you are a sexual being. We are sexual beings. We might have pulls to other people. And how do we navigate it makes all the difference. How do we work through it? How do we talk about it? Communication, communication, communication. It's so, so important in any relationship. And that's how you navigate these challenging spaces of human relating. That's why I love this work so much. That's why I've studied this work for 15 years, because all of life is communication. And our relationships are our biggest source of fulfillment and growth. And yeah, learning how to communicate and learning how to express yourself in ways that make you fulfilled is so important. We only got one life in this body, babies. So live it to the fullest and the most conscious and the most high, the most love. Thank you, thank you. Beautiful, beautiful people.